You got it. So the prodigal son has returned. Marcus Parks has deigned to come into the Side Stories studio, which is what it is when it is not currently the Last Podcast on the Left studio.
I requested
He did.
to come on this show.
He did.
I requested this week.
He did. And he was like, where am I? What do I do? Right? But he was good because he's having difficulty with his dogs are fine, by the way. I want to bring this up. He did go to the vet. We know Julie, his wife, had to jump on Instagram after he talked about Rambo eating the entire taxidermy crocodile head. And he was shitting out teeth, and everyone was getting upset because they were like, oh, you didn't call a vet. But Julie's father's, his wife's father's a vet. They called him. He said, as long as shit's coming out the front and the back of a dog, you're fine.
Yep.
Isn't that weird? As long as it's coming in and out. But I'm glad to have you back today.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be back.
And you know what I think we should do? First of all, this is Side Stories. I'm Henry Zabrowski. I'm sitting here with Marcus Parks.
Hey.
Yeah, and I actually do think that we should start, not seriously, but our hearts go out to the people in Baltimore.
Oh, God.
With what the hell is going on with this bridge collapse.
Jesus
we know
Christ.
what we know now about this bridge collapse is that there was some form of electronical malfunction on the barge that was coming underneath the bridge. The one thing about the bridge, which is like there was, I think something like 20 people are dead. We don't know what the number is yet with the bridge collapse.
Last I heard, there were 6 missing.
Yes, and there's a lot of people talking, obviously conspiracy theories immediately jump out, but I honestly think one of the biggest issues with this is explaining how like that bridge was allowed to be at what I believe was called fracture fail. Like there's like this term that they use where essentially one loud fart would take down this very, very crucial bridge.
Yeah, very busy, very, very busy bridge.
And then it all came down. So this barge was coming through from Singapore. There was electronical malfunction on the barge. It crashed into one of the pylons that support the bridge. They call it a partial collapse, which I think is spin like crazy.
It was the first. Well, I woke up this morning and I walked out. Carolina was already awake and had the news on. I'm bleary-eyed, and the very first thing I see when I wake up, I turn and look at the TV and I see a bridge collapse.
Yeah. Well, oh, cool. Oh,
fucking awful.
Is this new mushroom coffee? Like, ooh, yum, fun. Oh.
No, it's one of my biggest fears. I hate driving over bridges.
We all do.
Yeah, and this thing just collapses.
It really does collapse.
And we've got
video right now.
We love Baltimore so much.
We do.
It's one of our favorite. It's one of our favorite cities in America.
The entire
bridge went down.
This is not a partial collapse.
No.
I'm watching the entire bridge collapse into the river. This is not a partial collapse. This was also the only route for hazmat waste material to leave the city.
Jesus Christ.
So our hearts go out to Baltimore. We love that city. Can't wait to come back, which we are going to do, and we're not taking the bridge. So we're going to have to get there by helicopter. But you guys, I hope that everybody is okay. And unfortunately, I hate to say this, but at least it happened at night.
Yeah.
It happened in the middle of the night, around 1:30 in the morning, which probably saved a lot of lives, which is also, but still, it's extremely tragic. And Marcus is actually getting on a train tomorrow to go help. And so he said that because he wants to go by train. He wants to see the country.
I want it to take 6 days.
He wants it.
Because I don't think no one's in any hurry to get this thing fixed.
No.
I'm going to take my time.
He's going to, his main thing, what Marcus says, is he wants to be there to help emotionally after the fact. And he said mostly he was weirdly saying he's got a hotel room. It's going to be in the downtown area, La Quinta. He's looking to talk with single mothers. Which is really interesting. But honestly, it's nice for somebody to sort of really focus on the single mother.
Really focus on the single, because there's going to be a lot of people in Baltimore affected by this.
I really do.
And seriously, though, like it's going to, it may end up killing shipping in Baltimore permanently.
Well, it's definitely not going to be back for a minute. So I hope that Baltimore is okay, and avoid bridges. That's a good way to, is that a good way to start the day?
A good way to start the day.
Avoid all bridges.
As many as you can.
We need help. The country needs help. We need to get in there. You know what we need?
What?
The Avengers. But I'm not talking about the actual superheroes. Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, the other guy, Scarlett
Mark Ruffalo.
Johansson. Not him. I actually think that he's
too big of a head after Poor Things.
I think he's a great actor.
Yeah.
I think he's a great actor, but I don't know. He's not my go-to guy. I actually think that Robert Downey Jr. would be very helpful because he's the most not a Scientologist, but could be a Scientologist guy in terms of energy and effervescence.
He's a chameleon. He can kind of get in anywhere. Anything. Yeah.
And it's like it's the way he changed, because remember he was like sleeping in people's homes?
Yeah. Before Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couch surfing.
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, but he was breaking into people's houses and shit.
Yeah.
I miss old Robert
wait,
Downey
no,
Jr.
he used to break into people's houses? I didn't know about this.
It was when he was like really off the rails with drugs, when he was fun. That's when he was like a fun guy.
Yeah.
All right. So you came in here today. Do we want to start with why you're here today?
I mean, I texted you at 9 a.m. on Sunday morning.
You did. And I woke up. I was like, oh, God, what has happened?
Yeah.
Is this bad news?
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't bad news at all. It was a story that Carolina told me about. This story is incredible. It's terrifying. It's strange. It comes out of New Mexico. Health officials say new HIV infections have been linked to a salon that performed so-called vampire facials.
Okay.
Almost 5 years after the business closed. And what got me was the term vampire facial.
So have you never... See, what's funny is that I am with my beautiful wife.
Yes.
She loves all forms of, like, she does IVs, she does all this stuff. I'm pretty certain she's mostly still my full organic wife.
But at this point, she could have been replaced by
chemicals.
Another being.
I don't know what goes in and out of her, right? But she has done these vampire facials before.
These things are insane. I mean, basically what they do is they take blood from your arm.
I also believe that my wife would be just as beautiful without him. Yeah. I think she'd be just I don't think that's even the reason why she's beautiful. How about that? I don't even think that. All right? I think she keeps it tight. She's working hard on it.
Yeah. My wife was horrified to find out that her dermatologist does these.
Oh, yeah, of course.
These things, this is a legit treatment that people do, but you're supposed to be licensed.
Oh, well, yeah. You can't just be a guy. You can't just be like, yeah, I'll get your blood out and stick it back in your mouth. It's okay if I do it with my own mouth with a straw.
So what people do is they draw blood out of the arm, and then they put it in a sort of centrifuge, and it separates the platelets from the plasma, and then they take those platelets and they put them in a bag, I think, and they take.
They're not like plates. They're goop. They're other goops.
I know, it's goop. Yeah, you put it in a bag.
Yeah,
you put goop in a bag.
Yeah, you put goop in a bag.
You don't put goop in a cup.
You can put goop in a cup.
But if you put the goop in the body, you got to put the goop in a bag.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. It would be nice to have a bag. Honestly, it would be nice to have a cup because that's reusable.
Yeah, that's true. But you can reuse a bag.
And they can wash it out. Then you dump the stuff in the goop. Dump the goop in the fucking garbage can. Continue.
So they get these micro needles and they put a bunch of tiny little holes all over the person's face. And then they take this blood, these platelets, your own blood, and they smear it all over your face and let it seep in.
It injects in. It goes into your blood. Now, my thing is that how are people getting HIV? Because it's supposed to be coming from your blood.
I would imagine I would imagine that they were using the same equipment over and over again.
Is there any research as to why, like how that HIV is being actually spread around? Because that is what I find interesting.
Yeah, I looked it up. I wasn't able to find like an exact.
Either they're mixing up blood.
Yeah.
They might just be mixing up blood because I actually don't even know. Side stories lpotl@gmail.com. I'd love to know what part of the blood has got the dirt in it.
I would imagine that it was just them improperly cleaning the equipment. I mean,
it must be.
The micro needles, because if you do the micro needles on somebody and then you don't properly clean it, AIDS, I think, or HIV could probably survive quite a bit. And then the next person gets the micro needles and then they get HIV.
Side stories lpotl@gmail.com. Do you do micro needles? We actually have a lot of, I believe the term is estheticians in the audience, like my friend Heather.
What's an esthetician?
Somebody who works with skin.
Dermatologist?
It's not dermatologist. Someone who does, I believe, lumps and fucks and comes. Like lumps. An esthetician is the one that does all of the stuff that it's like salon stuff. Yes. Yeah. It's all about like an esthetician is a professional who performs facials, applies makeup. And my friend Heather actually has been working with this one that does what's called. It's like gender affirming esthetician work in Pittsburgh. but they talk about this style of like, I would love to know how this could possibly happen, because I wonder if, number one, do the machines even work if they're gunked up because the needles are so small? I don't know. Like, how much material, like literally blood, is needed in order to transfer HIV? Like, how virulent does it have to be? Also, does it come from a, I also don't understand how this procedure wouldn't work. I don't understand how this procedure would work without it being your blood.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're still getting blood smeared. You're getting blood smeared all over your face. So, who knows if it works or not? I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to work.
Natalie looks great.
Yeah, but as far as this place goes, I don't think this place does not really seem like they're on the level. It's called VIP Spa. That's it. It's just called VIP Spa.
Hey, very important people. Very important people are there. What are you going to say, Rob?
This article right here just says that they found dozens of unused needles throughout the spa.
No, dozens of used needles.
Oh, yes.
Oh, that is what it is.
Oh, improperly disposed of in multiple trash cans.
That's
and
where
stuffed in drawers in the client treatment room. So, there's just going to be a lot of cross-contamination in there. It's just cross-contamination. They're not properly disposing of their biohazards.
I never want to see the sentence ever again when it comes to a doctor's office. Unlabeled syringes, quote-unquote, loaded with unknown biologics were stored next to coffee creamer and cheese slices in a snack refrigerator. That's not good. Unlabeled vials of human blood next to the mayonnaise doesn't seem to be the best way you want to do this.
It's not a doctor's office. It's just a fucking spa.
It is just a spa.
It's like a place you go. It's like a place you go for a facial and a massage. And they're doing fucking, this shit used to happen in New York all the time.
Oh, yeah.
So many different stories of like women getting those like Brazilian butt lifts and getting like the illegal silicone injected into their butts. And then they die because they get an infection.
Yeah, dude.
You got to go to a professional when it comes to this shit. You have to go to a person with
a license. You just need a license. You need somebody that has some kind of license. A piece of paper. What we learned from Anders Breivik is actually you can print that shit up really easily and you actually could be totally fake. But hey, lie to me.